All right, it's week 7 of high school football. Hard to believe. The weather's getting a little more like football weather. He's Barry Lewis of the Tulsa World. I'm Jeff Kolb here at Fox 23. Nathan has the week off once again with his baby Sophie. So let's get right into it. Your top 5 games of the week. The Tulsa World's game of the week. Oologah, Wagner. What do you like about this game?
It's a rematch of the last 3 4A state championship games, and it could be a preview of the state championship game again this year. Two teams even. I mean, they are so even. For me, it could be Wagner just having set the state record with a 43rd consecutive win. It could be hard for a team in Wagner's situation to beat another good team for, again. It's tough to keep beating them repeatedly when they're so closely matched. And you have a potential emotional letdown from last week after setting the record. And
Wagner's kind of played a couple of blowout games coming into this. You wonder about that.
Yes, Oologah's got a great defense. I think it's going to be a game that goes down to the wire, a great game, a 21-20 type of game. And I was really tempted to go with Oologah, but I'm going to stick with Wagner.
You played it safe, Barry. You played it safe. Dale Condit looking to go 14-0 all-time against Oologah. I went with the Mustangs. So I'm taking a risk there. Your number 2 game goes up to 6A1, Norman North at Union, a rematch of the state title game, which Union won, but Norman North had the regular season game 30-27. That was probably the surprise of the regular season last year.
That was a surprise, and Union still remembers that game. That loss still sticks with them, even though they avenged it in the state championship game. I think Union will be very much ready to play this week. It should be an outstanding game between 2 of the top 4 teams in 6A1, but I think Union's just got too much for Norman North.
It doesn't look like the U is taking it easy on anybody. I know they just, their kicker set an extra points record last week, right?
Yeah, when they scored 10? 70 against Moore. Remember that was a top 5 game from last week? That just shows that was not quite as strong a top 5 week as this week. We're so loaded with great games this week.
So our prayers are with Norman North heading into Friday. Your number 3 game, Afton against Rejoice Christian, both teams undefeated down there in A, Class A District 7. What do you like about this game and Rejoice Christian looking for a big win around here?
Well, again, it's you always got to love those number 1 versus number 2 matchups. Afton blew out Rejoice last year 41-0. Rejoice remembers that. I think it's going to be more like the game in 2015 when Rejoice won 59-52 at Afton. The key for Rejoice is just don't get in a hole like it did last year when it was down 3 touchdowns after 3 or 4 minutes.
It's amazing because we've seen some incredible turnarounds where a team blew out one team last year and now it's a flip script. How does that kind of happen? And how can Rejoice make that happen?
Again, turnovers.
Yeah.
Those are the big key. You can't beat yourself, especially
early momentum.
Right. Otherwise, I mean, because last year's Rejoice team was a really good team, but they're also having some offensive issues at that point last year. That is not the case this year. Rejoice's offense is really clicking. Riley Walker has got a year of experience. He's a sophomore, but he's playing like a veteran. And I think Rejoice is clicking on all cylinders right now. Afton also is too. Should be a great game at Rejoice Christian.
Okay, your 4th game is our Fox 23 game of the week on the Cox channel, Your View 1333. 6A1, we have Edmond Santa Fe, your number 5 ranked team, against number 6 Broken Arrow. You have the Tigers winning, but Edmond Santa Fe won this game last year.
Yes, I don't think I've picked Broken Arrow right, but 1 or 2 times this year, so that might be scary for Broken Arrow since I'm thinking that Broken Arrow is going to win this game pretty solidly.
And if they do, what does that do for the district, how it shapes up?
If Broken Arrow wins, they should be able to get a home playoff game and avoid having to play at Union in the first round of playoffs like they did last year, which is really not the path to success. Broken Arrow, if they play like it did last week, if the Tigers play like they did last week at Westmore, when they physically and dominated Westmore in every way.
Westmore was undefeated before that.
If they play like they did last week, they should have no problem with Santa Fe.
And your 5th and final game in your top 5 is in 5A, District 4, maybe one of the tighter district races we have right now. Bishop Kelly at number 6, Skiatook. The Comets ranked 3rd. Skiatook dealing with a backup quarterback situation. What do you like about this? And whoever wins this game, what kind of an inside track do they have to the district title?
If Bishop Kelly wins the game, I think Bishop Kelly is pretty solidly going to win the district. If Skiatook wins the game, It could be a wild scramble for the district title. Both teams have great running attacks. They both will rely on those running attacks. It'll be like a very much a playoff type atmosphere, just like Bishop Kelly Claremore was last week. I saw both Bishop Kelly and Skytook on back-to-back nights last week. Very impressed by both of them. They both have solid defenses, good running attack. It'll be like a 20-17 type of game. I'm going to give Kelly just a slight edge just because Kelly's got its starting quarterback, Jake McMurray, playing. And Skytook is going.
He'll be looking to bounce back, though.
Yes.
He threw 3 interceptions last week. And J.J. Tapana, that was our game of the week last week. And he said after the game in the huddle there, not totally thrilled with how the team played, even though they won. So I think that could be a really good game.
They had too many empty red zone trips last week. Part of those were because of turnovers. So I think Kelly will get those cleaned up. And I think Skytook also, with its backup quarterback getting a second start, they'll probably be better this week than they were last week against Memorial.
So those are our top 5 games. Barry will be at the Union game against Norman North, and he'll have coverage there. Then he'll join us in studio at 11 o'clock for our High School Football Tonight show. Mike Brown of the Tulsa World will be at that Oologah-Wagner game. So will our Fox 23 sports reporter Heather Geller. She'll have live reports at 11 o'clock for that game. And then Nathan will have the call on the Cox channel of Edmond Santa Fe and Broken Arrow. And we'll have highlights of that at 10:15 on our extended highlights show. He'll also be live pregame at 6 o'clock and then anchoring our coverage there in part on High School Football Tonight at 11. As always, make sure you pick up a copy of the Tulsa World on Fridays, so that way you know everything you need to know for the night. And on Saturdays, you get not only the great recaps, but the photos. So we'll always look forward to that. And it's crazy that just 4 more weeks left.
Yes, and then the playoffs start.
That's right. So thanks for joining us, and look forward to seeing you on Friday night.